Welcome to Studio 48 Signal Path Saturdays. This is where we talk about equipment that we use in the studio, equipment that might be new, older equipment, just technology that we like to create sounds with. Today, I'd like to talk about the Electro-Harmonix OpAmp Big Muff and why it is so cool. So this is a pedal I do not actually have on my board. This is a pedal that we have floating around the studio because we use it for a number of different purposes. Usually it's to add a certain overdub to a guitar sound that just adds the texture that we're really looking for. Sometimes it's a secret ingredient to a bass line that we didn't think we needed. You know, it just really depends on what we're doing with it. There are many guitar players who use this as the backbone of their entire tone, and hats off to them. I personally have never had a fuzz pedal on my pedal board, and that may change, who knows. There are so many cool fuzz pedals that come out on the market all the time. Electro-Harmonix is a pedal manufacturer started by Mike Matthews. They have been in the game longer than, well, almost everybody else. They've been in the game for a very, very long time. And he was the first manufacturer to feature funny names like Big Muff, Screaming Bird, The Mole. The list goes on. And that paved the way for many, many, many pedal builders to just get creative and not take themselves too seriously. So what is a Big Muff? A Big Muff is a fuzz pedal. Fuzz pedals are wrapped in the distortion family. There are many ways to create distortion, a lot of different tones and genres associated with that. This is definitely in the fuzz category. Fuzz pedals are signal destruction. That's when we're taking the signal of the guitar and destroying it in a way that just creates a soundscape like nothing else. This particular version of the Big Muff is the 70s operational amplifier Big Muff. The OpAmp circuit was different than the germanium circuits that they were using in the 60s. The OpAmp circuit just had a very different clip to it. It had a very, very different edge to it as well. It made it a lot easier to record. It was more controlled, if you will. Germanium and a lot of the parts used in the 60s was very unpredictable and also very temperamental. It would change even based on the temperature of the room that you were in. The operational amplifier circuits did not do that. These were consistent. They all sounded, well, relatively the same. Controlled and very huge. And the popularity of that circuit has skyrocketed into the modern times. So this pedal has a bit of a story to it. Two guitar players in the early 90s were sharing a rehearsal space with another band. And that band that they were sharing that rehearsal space with was getting a particular sound out of their guitars that they had heard before, but had never been able to recreate themselves. Rushing to the backline of the guitar amps, they were met with the answer. Well, we were using a Big Muff. Those two guitar players immediately rushed to the nearest music store and demand at the counter a Big Muff pedal. And the employees of that music store obliged. Those two guitar players left and wrote an album called Siamese Dream. And that album changed guitar forever. So here we have the OpAmp Big Muff plugged into my JCM 2000. The controls in this pedal are very simple. You've got a volume, then you've got the center knob is the tone, and then you've got the sustain. Now the sustain is the level of distortion or level of fuzz, and it also does hold on to the note really well. This makes a great pedal for lead guitar because it just holds that note for you while you play. So I will go ahead and start with the volume all the way down on the pedal. The volume on this pedal, there is plenty on tap. You never have to worry about it being too quiet or you know, there are fuzz pedals out there that do kind of come in quiet and need a little bit of a boost afterwards. This is not one of those pedals. As you can hear, there is a lot of volume on tap. We're just barely getting past 9 o'clock there. The middle position here is the tone. Now I like that one kind of in the middle. I like it to be a little bit bright. I don't want it to be too dark. There is a switch right below the tone knob. What that does is it actually bypasses the tone. So we can get, well, a different sound out of it. I'll show you that right now. We have found that when recording with this pedal, it's really cool to record a bright version and then a dark version and add them together to create a really, really cool tone, which for the album Siamese Dream, that was one of the techniques that was used. We dial in the overdub just a little bit differently to create that massive Black Sabbath sound. Now the final part of the pedal is the sustain knob. So I'll go ahead and turn it all the way down so you can hear how the pedal, just with the sustain all the way down, still has a lot of grit to it. You can really hear how the sustain is how it's labeled. It does hold on that note for you. So I'm going to put the gain right about where I want it, and I'm going to play a riff, a rather Siamese Dream-ish riff.
So that wraps up my video on the Electro-Harmonix OpAmp Big Muff, a 70s classic that was used on so many 90s classics. I feel like this one is a great addition to any collection. If you're looking for that 90s tone or that Black Sabbath tone, this is your guy. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you like what we're doing. We want to keep the content coming.
You know, just, you can listen.
How much is
just
this?
listen for a minute. The sustain, listen to it.
I'm not hearing it.
You would, though, if it were playing, because it really, it's famous for its sustain. I mean, you can just hold it.
Well, I mean, so you know.
And you can go and have a bite. You can still be hearing that.
Oh, yeah.